This morning, and so I want to give a big shout out to these guys right away about getting up this early. We're delighted to have this morning two great guitar players, Rico McPharland from the Sugar Blue Band, and Rico will be sharing his story a little bit as a guitar player and becoming a professional guitar player. And actually has a CD of his own, but it's not on the ship. So. And you should hear him sing too. He's got a really nice voice. I heard him sing the other night, and so that's great. Also, we have Ronnie Baker Brooks from the Ronnie Baker Brooks Band. Ronnie also is playing at 4:15 with his full band today, so check that out. And let's get this started, eh? We're going to allow questions throughout the about hour we have today. So feel free to raise your hand and I'll point you out and you can ask a question. So they're going to be playing little snippets of songs and doing some explanations about them and their technique. And let's go.
Rico there, man.
Yeah, any questions?
It gives me an honor, first of all, to be up here with this man. I've been listening to Rico McPharland since I was a little kid in Chicago. And I've seen him play with many bands. I've seen him do his own thing. And I think he's one of the greatest in Chicago and in the world. Mr. Rico McPharland. I mean, he learned from all the masters. And then I saw it happen where he became the man. I mean, like Wayne Bennett in Chicago was one of the masters playing with Bobby Bland, and he got with Little Milton, and then over the years it became Rico McPharland. I mean, everybody look up to this guy, so I'm honored to be here today.
Oh, man.
Question?
Yeah. Were you sort of self-taught along the way, or did you just take lessons from these guys, or how did that work?
No, like Ronnie, my dad was a guitarist, Mr. James McPharland, so that's why I really learned. We had like basement parties over at my house. We had a bar set up, so when everybody got off the gig, they would come to the house. Later on, I learned that it was like Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, all the greats. I didn't know that at first. You know, you running around in your little diaper, you know. But I later learned, you know, when I went to the gigs, like, man, we used to hang out at your house with your dad. So I was like, wow. So I went home and asked my dad, and he said, yeah, man, everybody, this was like a big basement party. So ain't that cool? That's good. So you learn from the masters, you know. Yeah. But like, you know, like Ronnie, I met his dad, I think I was about 16. And I met his dad at a club called Pepper's Lounge, you know. Well, I didn't know about Ronnie's then.
Yeah.
But later on,
Dad didn't know about me either.
you're right.
I probably wasn't born yet.
So I learned about Ronnie and, you know, Wayne, you know.
Yeah. And my first time playing on stage was at Pepper's.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Pepper's.
So, yeah.
It was a well-known club. You know, like Silvio's, and I think my first pro gig, well, my brother used to take me around to a lot of clubs in Chicago. And that was Eddie Shaw's 1815 Club.
West Side.
On the west side, yeah. So I would get up, and the first gig was like Otis Rush, and I was like, oh my God.
Jump in the fire there.
I was like, oh, so what I'm gonna do, man? And he would call me up, so I went up and got the house, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. I think I want to go and make a career out of this, you know.
I got a question. Who was the first guitar person you gravitated to, other than your father?
I would say this guy, he wasn't well known. His name was Willie Hudson. Great guy, right? He used to play Feel So Bad by Little Milton, you know. At the time, I didn't even know who Little Milton was, but this guy had an incredible voice, and he was in the band with Willie Kent.
Oh, okay.
They started out together.
Okay.
So that was like my first, and Dan Hubert came after that.
Hubert Sumlin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Question?
Yeah, you just played that thing in G, and I'm good with the 145 on that pattern, but Ronnie, you then did a solo up the neck on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like you went to the 8th string on the fret on the G string. How did you know to go there?
I never learned. First of all, I never went to school. My father tried to get me to go to school to learn guitar, because he was always, and still today, on getting your education and further yourself.
Right.
But I tried that, and I couldn't get it, and I quit. So he started teaching me, and I never learned how to read or do any of that. Everything I do is by feel.
Right.
I just go how I feel, and I learn certain licks, like the lick you're talking about is probably came from B.B. King, or a little mixture of B.B. King and Albert King. Mm-hmm. And just a feeling. The blues is a feeling for me. I go by feel, and never learn to read, or I write songs, written guitar solos from my ear, but I never written it down on paper. And but I never went to school fully to learn how to play guitar. I don't think a lot of blues guys never went. A lot of us just play by feel, and that lick was just a B.B. King thing, you know. Hold up. You know, something like that. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. But how do you know that fits with the G 145?
How do I know where it fits? I don't know where it fits.
I'm about to say, I was going to say the same thing.
I just hope and pray it fits. You know, I mean, the blues is I've learned from the heart. It comes from the heart. And
Right.
what comes from the heart reaches the heart, you know. And I just try to master myself. You never master a guitar. I don't think Rico's probably the closest I know that can master it. But it's so much to learn.
I'm still learning too. So
Sugar Blue.
let's hear it for Sugar Blue, y'all.
Speaking of masters,
Yeah, speaking of masters, right.
question.
Is there a standard lick that either both of you always go to as part of what you're going to solo? Is it something you always start to?
Well, it depends what song we're playing. Like I would have guessed. You know, like we go to. I use that a lot, like a lot of standard blues. You know, and like little T-Bone Walker.
T-Bone. Yeah.
You know, licks like that.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff was built off of T-Bone.
Right,
man,
right.
you know,
A lot of people don't
speaking
know
of-
that. You know, it was built off of T-Bone.
Yeah, B.B. King got a lot from T-Bone.
Yep,
And
you sure did.
Yeah.
Ronnie, what do you go to? What is your standard?
My standard,
Go to? I mean, it's
You
something
know-
you always gravitate to.
you know, when I first started playing, I listened to my dad. I mean, I was doing my dad to the T.
Right.
And I never forget Deion Payton in Chicago. We was playing with my dad at the time, and they got me up on stage. I was young and dumb.
Well, we ain't gonna say that other word.
I'm just older and dumb now.
They're older though.
But he was saying, man, you playing just like your dad. You sound just like your dad. And see, my thing was, that's what I learned. That's what was around the most. And until the great Albert Collins pulled me to the side and said, you would never be like your dad.
Right.
You would never be like me. But what you can do is take from everybody you like and make it you. So that's what I try to do. I take a little bit from everybody that I, study and to make it myself. Because I cannot do it like my dad. I cannot do it like Albert Collins. But I can take what they offer and try to make it myself with their same spirit.
Yeah, I think that's what we all do. Take a little piece of
Little
that.
pieces of everybody.
Everybody and just put it together. You know.
So, I mean, I don't have a go-to lick.
Keep working at it.
I'm keep working every day. Right. You never stop. The great Roy Buchanan was taking lessons, right before he died.
Yeah.
He was taking guitar lessons. So you never stop learning. So I hope I answered your question.
Well, I took guitar lesson Lion Hilly. And the guy said, told my mom to say, yeah, he know too much. So they canceled my membership.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Mike Willer here from Chicago.
Great guitarist.
Fred Johnson, trombone player, extraordinaire.
Any other questions? Okay, in the back.
Learning when you were younger, you just sit at the record player and
Yes.
listen,
You get that?
figure it out.
Well, for me, just having all these guys come to my house, I don't know, I just picked it up. I started knocking my dad guitars over, he's like, you just knocked that 345 over, so you better earn it. So,
I got a story about that, man. We lived on in Washington Park area in Chicago. It's right between the projects in Hyde Park where Obama lives. I was right in the middle. And I was on the porch. We had this dog. And I was playing my dad's 335. And we was on the second floor, man, and I'm playing. And I just got this lick. Just got it. And I was like, Dad, I got this lick. Set the guitar down and ran in to tell Dad I got this lick to come check it out. And my dog saw another dog and just went crazy and kicked the guitar down and broke the guitar, man. My dad almost cried, man. He was like, Ronnie, you don't do that. You don't do that.
Did he bought you a Tiasco after that, huh?
He didn't whoop me, though, man. I thought I was going to get a spanking, man. But he's like, don't do that. You always put your guitar up.
That's right.
So, yeah, question.
Could you talk a little bit about how valuable making mistakes and saving the mistakes and building onto that in increasing your repertoire?
Yeah. Well, I could answer that. I make a lot of mistakes. He don't.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's a great point. You know, another thing. Go back to Albert Collins. We were in L.A. and he came to the show and he saw me. I was making mistakes, and every time I would make a mistake, I would frown. You know.
Yeah.
And he said, "Son, you frowning up there when you make a mistake." He said, "I make mistakes, but I smile."
Yeah.
And a lot of times the people thought I meant to do it. So since then, it just changed my whole vibe. You know, a mistake can become a lick that you really can, use later on,
I made a mistake. I was playing with Albert King and I was soloing, and I made a mistake, and Albert looked back and said, "You do it again, he crack you inside your head with my guitar." And Albert was like 6'5" or something. Say, "Look, you do it again." So I know what that meant, So it's like every night it was like, man, I hope I don't make a mistake. It was like, 'cause this cat is gonna kill me.
But it's not a
So damn picky.
it's not a mistake. Depends on what you play after it.
Right.
That's the way you can make it a lick, So, yeah.
Just
Any
go back to it and make it sound legitimate.
Right.
like you meant to do it, Question?
When you walk into a set and they've got amplifiers up there that you've never seen or rarely used, do you have a way of approaching the amp or setting the level?
Yeah, kick in the speaker. No, well, because I have an amp problem. I think me and Sugar Blue both we don't have the amps we want. It's kind of hard to get my Mesa Boogie out there. If you're sitting out there Mesa Boogie, okay. But it's hard to get the right amp and the right sound. It varies from night to night, Some nights you on, you can dial it in. Some nights you can't, But Mesa Boogie is like my preference. I don't know what
Fender, I use Fenders. I just turned over to Fender Deluxe Reverbs. With the big band thing I got happening now, it kind of cuts through the horns a little bit more than what I had before. And I was using, at one time, man, I was on the road with Dad, I had stacks of amps, and I was playing rhythm. But my dad was always cool. He's like, "Man, you don't need all that stuff, man. You don't need all that stuff." But he let me bring it, I had to go through it to get to it, But I think all of it comes from the fingers. I don't care what amp you're playing on.
Right.
Your fingers is like your fingerprint. When you play, it's like your own. That's what I'm trying to accomplish now, is just getting my own thing, And I think you never accomplish that till you die.
That's right.
Unless you're Albert King or BB.
Right.
They would have, the greatest is at having their own. One note, it's BB King. One note, it's Albert King or Albert Collins, And that takes many, many years of playing and playing and playing. One quick story. We were down in Memphis we were doing a recording with my father, and it just coincided with BB's birthday party they were giving him. And everyone was there, from Buddy Guy, Kev Moe, Willie Nelson, Michael McDonald. It was a bunch of celebrities. And Slash, you know, from Guns N' Roses, he found out I was at the hotel with them. He had me come down. He had me drinking coffee and Jack Daniels with him. So I'm like this. I'm speedballing. So he's like, man, I want to play with BB, man. You think I could play with BB? I said, I'm sure, you know. And he said, I just want to do this thing in B minor, man. I love to play a slow blues in B minor. I said, well, I think he does. The Thrill Is Gone in B minor. So we go to the gig and we go to BB's dressing room. He said, man, can I do a slow blues with you in B minor? He said, sure, son, sure. BB was really, really sweet. Yeah. So everybody jam. Slash gets up there with BB. Slash going to all his rock and roll stuff, the tapping and all that. And BB was, I mean, and Slash is an awesome guitar player.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's got a lot of versatility. But he turned it over to BB, and we all standing, Buddy Guy, all of us standing on the side, and BB just looked up and hit one note. Wham! And it just rained. I swear I just saw a light come down. And the whole building was like in awe. All of us, I mean, the chill bumps, I was like, oh my God. I think BB just reached for everything he went through in his life and hit it in that one note. And everybody felt it. I mean, everybody felt it. And that's a master.
Yeah.
That's a master. Do another one?
Well said, man.
You want to do another one? Yeah. Let's do this one and eat, man. If I get tired. Any other questions out there? What was that? Do it again. That's what she said. What you say?
What guitars did you guys start out with? What guitars do you like to play the most now?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I started out on a Gibson until I broke it. And my dad bought me a Fiasco. He was like, you ain't better mess no more with my guitars up, you know. So,
My first guitar, it's a great story behind it. When my dad realized that I wanted to be serious about it, well, he had a little cheap guitar. I can't remember. It was an acoustic guitar around the house that he would let me mess with. But then when he saw that I was serious about learning, he got me a SG, a Gibson SG, and I still have that guitar today. My first time on stage was at Peppers. I was 8 years old at Peppers, and for my birthday, my 9th birthday. And I didn't notice until I told Junior Wells this story. I was down there playing, and the first song I learned was Messing with the Kid. And I was playing with my dad. You remember Dead Eye?
yeah.
Dead Eye? He was a great guitar player in Chicago. He was there. And we were all on stage, I'm playing, and the people thought it was Dad and Dead Eye playing. And they both held their hand up like, that's him. So they started throwing me money. And I made more money than my dad that night. I thought I was a star, man. Couldn't tell me nothing. And I went through a thing, whereas none of my friends my age were into music. They were playing sports. So I quit to play basketball and broke my dad's heart. He took the guitar back, and that first record he did with Alligator called Bayou Lightning, that's him with the guitar with lightning coming out the guitar, like he's holding it up like that. That's my first guitar.
Wow.
And when he saw that I saw Bernard Allison. I gotta mention this. I saw Bernard Allison, Luther Allison's son, playing at the, it was called the Chicago Fest then. It wasn't
Right.
the Chicago Blues Fest. They had stopped that and they brought the Chicago Fest. And I saw him playing with his dad, Luther. And Bernard was about 16 years old. And that was the first time I saw a young black kid playing the blues like that.
Right.
I was like, wow. And then my dad came and he said, see, if you'd have kept playing, you could have been up there with me. And he grabbed Bernard, he said, go talk to Ronnie, man. And Bernard came to me, he said, man, I heard you play guitar, but you want to play basketball. We got enough Michael Jordans, we need some more B.B. Kings.
That's a great one.
And that, ever since then, I've been playing, and me and Bernard's like brothers today, you know. So he got me back into it. But my first guitar was a SG. Any other questions?
I noticed that last little ditty you guys were playing, you guys were using your pick sometimes.
Yes.
Fingers, can you talk about that a bit?
It depends on what I'm playing, you know. I try to cup the pick like that sometimes with my finger to get a different sound, you know, or you do a finger picking style thing. You know, something like that. I see Buddy Guy do it sometimes too, where he'll do an Albert King, like, you know, you get more of a percussion sound with the. You know, you get more of a deeper sound, you know, a natural sound with your fingers. That's why Hubert's stuff was so distinctive,
Yeah.
because he just used his fingers. You know, whereas a pick, it's more of a cheater kind of.
It is.
For speed, and, you know, you can do things more with a pick, you know.
Yeah, a lot of old guys
Some things more.
didn't use picks back then. You know?
Finger picks. They
Yeah,
used-
finger
you know,
picks.
Freddie King used finger picks.
Yeah.
T-Bone used a pick, didn't he?
You know, I don't know.
He would play his guitar like this.
Well, you never could tell, you know.
He would have it almost like he's, you know, like this. And he would play his guitar. I don't know why he had a big body guitar. I guess it helped with tone. I don't know.
Feedback.
yeah.
Feedback, yeah. Man, you got some great eyes back there. You saw that.
Talk about what you like or don't about sound effect rigs.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Sometimes I use it. My guy Carl Weathersby came up to me and said, "Man, that's a handicap too."
Yeah.
So then he kind of broke me down. I started using one pedal, you know. But back in the day, the guys, you know, older guys, they didn't like you to use that stuff, you know.
Not at all.
Not at all. You couldn't get on the stage with them with that. So
I caught a lot of hell with that
Yeah,
with my
me
dad
too.
too. At first, you know.
it's like it wasn't true to the game.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But now the game has changed. You
Right.
know, and the Jimi Hendrix kind of
Yeah.
started that. You know, and I was using, I had a huge, like a spaceship pedal board, man, because I was doing a 3-piece. And with a 3-piece, I tried to give the guitar a different color, different sounds, because I didn't want it to get boring to the fans' ears.
Right.
So I would do different sounds for different colors, depending on the song. And I still use pedals today, but like back to what I said, it's all here.
Yep. That's all
You know,
there.
if you strip down, you still got to have that feeling. Whereas pedal might, you know, help with a sound, or, you know, it goes with a tremolo.
It depends on what amp, like you was talking about the amp situation, you know. 'Cause a lot of amps, man, you turn them up, sound like Tinker Toys, you know. So that's why a lot of people start using like the distortion to get the feedback.
Yeah.
Hold a note.
And Buddy Guy told
Yeah.
me, he told me back in the day, he used to have this gig where they do their battle every Sunday for a bottle of wine. And Buddy was winning every week. and somebody tried to steal all the insides of his amp.
His amp. Yeah, he told me that.
And they found out that he had a razor blade, and he would slit the speaker just a little bit to get the distortion.
The distortion.
And that was one of his tricks. But he never used the pedal back then, you know. He just
Right.
slit the speaker a little bit with a razor blade and turn it up. And it just would give him that distortion that he wanted. So
Was it all jamming, or did you have a book or video that helped you along the way?
We didn't have that.
you know,
I didn't have that, man. I just want to be telling these kids now, y'all got YouTube
much,
and
yeah.
all. I had to sit in front of the stage and get my feelings hurt when I go. I didn't have that. I just sit there and just take it in, man, until it was that time. Then I went up. I think I went up with this guy named Willie James Lyon. I don't know if you know him. He was a great guitar player in Chicago. And I would go up, man. He would sit in. He was like, "No, you ain't got it yet." So I would go back home, my head down. My mom was like, "What's wrong?" I said, "He said I ain't got it yet." He said, "Well, my dad said, keep getting it. You don't get it, you're going to get it." So it's like every week, man, for like 5 months, I go up, sit in, and he's like, "No, man, you ain't got it." So I finally knew what he was talking about, you know, and he's like, I went up, got the house. He said, "Now you got it. Now you know what I'm talking about." So I was like, damn. I ran outside. I was like, yay. Well, you know, a lot of stuff, you know, I carry with me, you know, today, you know, the knowledge that I had back then, you know. But we didn't have YouTubes and none of that, you know. These kids got it made now.
yeah.
And they learn so fast, man. Just like this kid I just met last year, Kingfish. This
Amazing.
young kid
Amazing.
is amazing, man.
Yeah.
And he sits there, he listens to all of us. He just takes it in. He just takes it in.
Sponge.
He just
Soak it in. Yeah.
He's so fast with it. So
I came in like right in the middle of VHS, when VHS started coming in. I'll never forget Stevie Ray Vaughan. My dad went and saw Stevie one night. He came to Chicago. I was still in high school. And he gave my dad a VHS of him, the one that's out with Albert King now, from Canada they did. It's on DVD now, but Stevie gave it to my dad way back when they first did it. And we had a setup where we had the TV, whatever they watched upstairs. I snuck a cord upstairs where I can watch what they was watching, because we only had one TV with cable on it. So whatever they watched, VHS or cable, I could watch down in my room. Dad had came in, he had that tape on, man, and I had the TV on. I woke up and I heard Stevie and Albert, like, oh my God.
The In Session.
The In Sessions.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's on there.
Really?
Yeah, my brother-in-law's on piano and drums.
Yeah, they brothers.
Tony Lorenz. Tony
yeah.
Lorenz, that's my
I didn't know
brother-in-law.
that was
Yeah.
your brother-in-law. Wow. I'm watching that, man. I'm like, God, I couldn't believe it, you know. And that's when I was studying that VHS, you know, around that time, because before that I was just listening to records, or like Rico said, you had to go and watch the cats, you know. You had to sit down, if you were lucky.
Yeah, if you were lucky to get the good cats.
Yeah, if they let you. I'll never forget, speaking of Carl Weathersby in Chicago, they played this black club called Artists. You know Artists.
Yeah, no, Artists.
It's closed now. Him and Billy Branch was down there, and it was all black people, and it's a different thing with, and we all human, but it's a different spirit, whereas it was like the Apollo. If you ain't hitting it, get off the stage. Get off the stage, next man up, you know. And Carl had the crowd going crazy, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't want them to see me, because I was like, I can't do that. And you know, and I was in the back of my head, I was listening to Billy. Billy came to one of my shows. He said, man, you ain't playing no blues.
Yeah,
You ain't playing no blues. I was like, and he broke my heart, man. But he was telling me the truth.
Right.
And I went home and just studied. And I snuck in and saw him and Carl. It's like, oh my God, I see what he's talking about now. It's a whole different thing. And they called me up one night, man, and I got the guts to play. And I touched the people, and it just elevated my confidence. You know, you got to have confidence when you're playing, because like I said before, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. If you shaky about it, a lot of people may pick up on it, but the majority of the people, like, you know, they don't feel what you're doing. You know,
right.
So I have to thank Carl and Billy for that. Any other questions?
Yeah, like when I started learning, I'd learn like the 5-note blues scale, you know, Louie Louie or whatever. And
Louie.
you know,
Yeah.
that's what you generally
No, I was laughing at it because my first name is Louis, so I got teased in school. So.
I didn't know that.
See, he didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
And we go, Louis. I said, oh shit. Like
But then you hear the major pentatonic later, and you don't hear the blues pentatonic, the minor pentatonic so much, and it seems like the Django Reinhardt, the jump guitarists, play a different palette of colors when they play, and I guess it's based on Charlie Christian more.
all right.
And I don't know, like you were saying, the young Wunderkinds, Sean Costello at 16 playing all the Charlie Christian riffs or the jump stuff. Any comments on that? I guess I really don't have a question, but it seems like almost two different genres in the guitar.
Yeah.
Robert Jr. Lockwood, you know.
Oh well, you talking about a great. He was Robert Jr. was. I don't know anybody that had that style, man. Yeah. He was. I was talking to a lot of the old cats like Little Milton and even BB back then. They was telling me to listen to Robert Jr. Lockwood. I'm like, who in the hell is Robert Jr. Lockwood? Until I seen him one day, man. I was like, man, I was floored.
Yeah.
He was a great guitarist.
That was the cool thing about the blues, man. You can grab all these different styles. Like I was saying earlier, you know, little pieces of it, and you know, bring it into the blues. You know, actually, a lot of it came from the blues. You know, so that's why it kind of relates. You know, you can make it work.
I think more of the jump blues. I kind of lean towards a T-Bone.
T-Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert was.
Yeah, Robert
from
was
that family.
Yeah, he's from that family. So.
Yeah.
Did you have any experiences with John Lee Hooker?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. You want to tell yours?
My story was
It wasn't about guitar though. That's a whole nother topic there.
I like to listen the old John Lee by himself. You know, I didn't dig the band thing, but he was amazing, man. You know, but like I said, I like to listen to him by himself. You know, that kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah, John Lee was, man, it was a mixture between trance, church, and blues.
Blues, yeah.
You know, amazing. You know, he wasn't technically,
He didn't know
none of that stuff, but it's soul and feel, man, and it made you.
He'd just lay on that one groove for an hour and lay it out, man. It's like, damn, this guy, wow.
Yeah. Question.
When you, I guess two parts. So what did you practice? How did you practice when you were learning? And how long, how many hours a day did you spend?
Well, when I first started, I hate practicing now. When I first started, I would come home when I get out of school and pick it up, and you know, because my first song I learned to play was Green Onions, Booker T and MGs, and Cleo's Back, you know. And I would practice that line every day. My dad got tired. He's like, damn.
Yeah.
He said, I'll be glad when you get this song. I was weird. But yeah, when I first started out, I practiced a lot, you know. But now, you know, I pick it up probably before I hit stage.
Yeah.
You know.
So practicing means learning a new song. Is it?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not scales.
Yeah, well, you know, practicing for me is every night I get on stage, you know. You know, I might hit some lines or some notes, and I'll be like, damn, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. You gotta reach for it.
You gotta reach for it, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, as we've reached a point in time where just about all of the architects of the original sound of the blues are gone. What do you make of the influences as they shape up now and the future of the blues in the direction that it's going, as opposed to hard blues?
That's something I'm really scared of right now, man, because I don't know where the blues is heading right now, where it's going, you know.
It's changing. It's
changing.
It's
It's
definitely
changing.
with the loss of the masters, you know,
Right.
and BB and Ivory King, all of those guys but it would never die.
It will never die.
As long as there's human.
But to keep
On
that
Earth.
traditional, you know, B.B. King, Albert King sound,
Yeah.
I don't know. Me and Buddy was talking about that, and he's like, I don't really know where it's headed. You know, when I leave here, you know, it's like, and I feel the same way, because, you know, everything is, all the blues are now with an edge on it. You know, everybody like going for that distortion pattern. You know, that's all they know now. You know.
Yeah.
Even though you were from Chicago, you were influenced by some of the older acoustic country guys, sort of like Harry Lewis or something like that. I noticed when you're playing up by the nut, you have a whole different rhythm, rhythmic group.
Yeah.
That's one of that more country stuff.
Well, I picked that up from listening to Muddy Waters records, his early stuff, and John Lee Hooker, Son House, Jimmy Reed. My dad played with Jimmy Reed, and my dad he's playing on Big Boss Man, if you didn't know the original version of that. And I'll never forget, a reporter came to the house. I was real young at the time, and I was so excited, you know, to play and show this guy I can play. And my dad showed me a trick on how to get that Jimmy sound, you know. He would mute the strings down here at the bottom. Probably hear it better. And I was doing that, and my dad said, stop that. You can't let everybody know that yet. Because he was watching, you know, Eddie and all them guys do it, you know. And that's how they got that sound, you know. By muting the strings, you know, to get a more of a percussion and more of a pocket with the rhythm of it. But listening to those guys, I you know, as a kid, man, I gravitated to the Delta stuff. You know, I mean, I could feel the soul when they were by themselves, and I used to get teased about that because I was listening to the deep blues, you know.
It was amazing that you brought that up because I learned that style from Luther Tucker.
Luther Tucker.
And man, I was like, man, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Can you show us a demonstration of the difference between the Delta style and the Chicago style?
Delta and Chicago. That's wow. Let's see. Delta. Well, Chicago is probably more like you know, something like that, more up tempo. You know, for me, you know, like Freddie King, almost like a.
Right.
You know, Hideaway, stuff like that. For me, the Delta stuff is more like Lightning Hopkins. You know, for me. Sorry about that. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Trouble in the world is all I see. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Trouble in the world is all I see. Oh, sometimes I wonder what in the world gonna become of me. When I wake up in the morning, trouble and blues all around my bed. Oh, when I wake up in the morning, trouble and blues all around my bed. You know I never will forget the last words my baby said. She said, I'm leaving you in the morning. All your crying won't make me stay. She said, I'm leaving you in the morning. All your crying won't make me stay. Yeah. She said, I hope to meet you someday, Ronnie. Way down that lonesome highway. Take him back to Chicago. Yeah. Any more questions?
Over here, Rico.
I just, a comment is that one of the things that I'm so impressed when I see guys like you that have played so long, you guys probably haven't played that much together, if at all, how well you guys listen to each other, stay out of each other's way,
Yeah.
make them elevate the music beyond two guys playing guitar.
Strange that you said it.
When I was in jams, I really struggle with that because a lot of times I'm dealing with people, they're not listening.
Right.
They just play.
I think I learned that doing studio sessions, you know, kind of discipline myself. It was on the jam last night, this guy came up and this guy was singing. He was trying to play over the guy that was singing, you know. And I was like, no, man. I was like, don't do that,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
And he was just steady playing. I said, no, that ain't the way to do it, you know. You play in the holes. So, you know, you got to pick the way you play. But a lot of a lot of guys don't know that, you know. You just get up there and just go for it. You got to listen to your vocals. Because when I was playing with Little Milton, who I played with for like 10 years, he was like, always keep your eyes on me. I'm like, I'm tired of looking at your ass, you know. But, you know, I knew what he meant, you know. And he was like, and I learned it from him, you know, like playing with Tyrone Davis and all the soul, you know, like keep your eyes on me because you don't never know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, yeah,
you
it's
know?
a great point, man.
So, you know, it's discipline, you know. But, you know, like I say, but even Albert King was like that, you know. Keep your eyes on me, motherfucker, you know.
It's for real.
You know, well, that's why they talk to you, you know. That's how you learn, you know. Like,
And that taught you the discipline
Right.
because you was afraid to lose a gig or get your
Right.
butt whooped.
right.
You had to make, you know, Buddy Guy, it's a video on here. I think they were playing on here. Buddy Guy was talking about how all these great guitar players was on chess doing these sessions, and Muddy would always call for Buddy.
Right.
Because Buddy would play behind Muddy
That's right.
to make Muddy sound better.
Right.
Or to make him get to that, inspire him to get to that moment for the song, you know. And that's very important that we lose it because it's a lot of great guitar players.
That's right.
But you got to learn how to play it and make the music better, not just where you sound better. You got to make the music. You got to commit to the song. So that's a great point, man. I'm sorry? Oh, well, yes.
Oh, Hubert, man.
Yes.
He was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was great, man.
Yeah, he complimented Wolf so well, you know, that's why I was so successful, because he learned to play behind Wolf, and Wolf whooped on Hubert.
Yeah, that's
You play behind me,
right.
you know, and that's how they learned. Whereas my father, I went through that with my dad where I had, you know, I wanted to show what I know. And he's like, no, you're here to play rhythm guitar.
Right.
And when you get your shot, then you play what you want to play. But right now, parts are parts. There's a reason why the song have parts, and you have to play your part.
Yeah, it's like with different artists, man. It depends on who you're playing with, you know. So like I used to sit in with his dad all the time. And that was kind of wild. I come to the other stage, he was like, nah, we don't do that on this stage. So now, you know, I learned how to play behind him. You know, he called me up, you know, because he calls me up a lot, you know, because he's one of my mentors too, you know. Lonnie was great.
Elaborate?
Follow up on that. We play guitar. We spend most of our time playing rhythm, but we're all so anxious to play the lead. And like what Rico did, the very first little jam you guys played, some of the chordal things were phenomenal.
Amazing, yeah.
So much richer than a few single quick notes that flash by.
And it creates a mood. You know, the chords create a mood. You know, I learned from Kev Mo, man, just now. This was not too long ago. We wrote a song together called Wham Bam Thank You Sam. Yeah, Wham, and I can show you a little bit. It's a chord. It's like a major 7 chord. Well, I'm talking about love, you know, and the chord. It sounds so beautiful. When you're talking about love, and then I'm talking about pain, and the other chord is. I was like, wow, it just elevated my songwriting thoughts now, you know, because the chords create a vibe. It creates a spirit, you know, like, it's beautiful, you know, and then sad, you know, and I put that in. So you're right, chords do create a sound and a vibe.
Yeah, it's like me. I like to play in between. I think because I got it from horn players.
Yeah.
So I was playing like that. It's like in between those.
I believe my woman's got a black cat bone. See how you go between the verse, the words? I believe my woman's got a black cat bone. She like everything I do. She like I I do it wrong. Yeah.
This is a guitar player, and because most of my pick style, a lot of cats don't know that. Straight out of church. But a lot of my pick style came from guys were like, man, where you learn to pick like that? And this guy is not real well known, but in Chicago he is. His name was Walter Scott, man. And I learned a lot of techniques on how to pick. I got like more studio sessions like pick lines and chords, you know, because this guy was unbelievable. You know Walter?
Yeah, of course I know Walter. Yeah, Hollywood too.
Yeah, in Hollywood, Hollywood has been on the ship. You know, he's great. That whole family.
Yeah, the Scott brothers.
The Scott brothers, you know, from Chicago, platinum band. That was Hollywood. You know.
Honey boy.
Yeah, yeah, Honey Boy there. No, I can hear you.
I can hardly hear you. Can you?
I'm sorry. I said you talked a lot about how you develop your guitar techniques
Mhm.
and influences. Did you go through that with your vocals as well, or does that just follow from what you're playing?
For me, for vocals, well, I learned from watching Milton's back.
Yeah.
Cause he could sing, man. You know.
Yeah.
And Otis, you know, Otis Clay
Otis
and
Clay.
O.V. Wright. You know, the bass. I would just listen to those records over and over and over, and I guess I just picked it up. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't have any voice training or nothing like that.
And I think a lot of it depends on the situation. If it depends on what instrumentation you have in the band.
Right.
You know, whereas if you had horns, you probably wouldn't play as much. Anyway, because the horns is covering a certain area, and you're covering the area of rhythm or whatever. But if you don't have horns, what we just did,
Right.
now it's a room and freedom to do that. You know, where you don't step on the vocal or you answer the vocals. You answer the vocal. You know.
Are there any techniques or styles that you're still trying to develop or improve on?
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
Like I was just saying, with the chords, playing where the chords fit the lyrics. You know, I'm trying to develop that better, where it helps tell the story better, or you could create a mood better. Those kind of things I'm working on now. You know.
Would you expand on that as far as like the feel of the chord progressions that you select?
Yeah.
When pairing that with lyrics, or would you expand on that?
I expanded the most I know about it right there. I'm still learning it, you know. I mean, we just did this not too long ago, whereas, like I said, the chords create a vibe with the lyric. I mean, if I'm trying to say I hate you, you come out with a chord that could help you deliver that.
Right.
Whereas if you want to say I love you, you come with a chord or a progression that creates that atmosphere, you know. And I'm still trying to develop that. That's one thing I'm working on for myself.
Those horn lines that you were doing, you were doing a bit of muting here and there. Was that left-hand muting or right-hand muting? Or is that a combination of both?
Combination of both. Like Ronnie said, muting back here. So it's like a combination of both.
Lil Milton was the master of that too.
Yeah, he was. He would do a thing that I still use. He would mute it. He would do it, and he would do this other thing, man. It was just, man. It was you just be amazed. sound like it's crying.
Yep.
And I would see him get the house with it, and I was like, damn, I need to get that line.
And Otis Rush would do that too.
Right, Otis too, man. It was like, wow.
Just make you cry,
I could just see him get in the audience. I was like, damn, he got mesmerized. What did I say?
One more? Where you at? Let's do that. Where you at? Where you at?
See, that was about 5 mistakes.
Well, big thank you to Rico McPharland, Ronnie Baker Brooks. Awesome guys. And you can see Ronnie today, 4:15. And then Rico tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. So thanks for supporting Live Blues. Have a great day, guys.